Good morning, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to the channel. It's your girl Tanya. We are on. I got this new vlogging gadget for the car, so I hope I'm not too in your face. Guys, today I want to talk to you about something. I'm in the process of looking for another apartment, right? And I went to this community yesterday. Now places, they getting good at this. They starting to call these places luxury apartments, because they putting in the stainless steel appliances. So to them, it's luxury. So I go in there. Nice gentleman, he greeted me and all that good stuff. And, I told him what I was looking for. And, I said, I'm looking for a 3-bedroom. And he says, I don't have anything. Then he says, you know what? Hold on, you might be in luck. So, we go to his office and everything, and we're sitting down talking. And he said, yeah, I have a, 3-bedroom. It's on the first floor. I got all hype, because I have my grandkids there. So, I like to be respectful to the people above me, which everybody doesn't do that, but I don't want to get into the, where people are talking about, oh, they're making noise, the kids are bumping, whatever, So to alleviate all that, I'll let them know, what I'm looking for, right? I think the new library is scheduled to open today. We got a new library. Well, it's remodeled. It's bigger. It's bigger. Yes, the new library is scheduled to open today. But anyway, nonetheless. So I said, okay, cool. Telling them, my needs and, just saying about kids and how I want to be, just put it out there now. That just so, like I said, so you know. Well, baby, I asked him, I said, well, what is the rent? He said $2,700. This is for an apartment, not a house, not a mortgage, but an apartment. And I'm telling you, I'm getting to the point where somebody doesn't want Americans to live in some kind of comfortability. Now, I'm so convinced that, it's just, they're now doing what they want to do. That's what I'm so convinced. And I'm not even convinced. And they are doing what they want to do, because in the not so good neighborhood, those landlords are taking houses that are not even fixed up. They look dilapidated. You don't know what you're going to get when you get in there, and want $1,700, $1,800, $1,900, $2,000. And I had one landlord, and I mentioned this in another video, and that's his business, as Tabitha Brown could say. He said to me, I only rent to people who have a voucher. Make it make sense. Now, I know in New York, because that's where I'm from, I live in the South now, but I'm from New York. When you had Section 8, those landlords were required to fix up those properties. Like, you have the inspector comes in every year, unless the inspector is a friend of yours and, getting a payment under the books. You had to fix that stuff. You had to fix that stuff, and those apartments had to be up to par. But there's just no more integrity. Like the integrity, and this is just me talking, there's no more integrity. Like, where are people supposed to live? So my apartment, I don't get out of there until the end of August, right? And they already scheduling somebody to come see the place. I'm like, but don't you want to, get the painting done first and, make sure everything is okay? But listen, I don't know why I'm surprised, because when I went to see the place, a young lady and her guy friend or husband, whatever, and child living in the house was a mess. So I'm gonna make sure we're gonna clean up and just tidy up. Like, we're not dirty, but I'm saying, just tidy up. So when they come, just be respectful. But I say all that to say is, how are people supposed to live? Everybody's not on Section 8. Everybody can't qualify for low-income housing or income-based housing. I can't, They told me I make too much. I mean, like, make it make sense. Like, you don't know what expenses I have. But the only thing, you look at the dollar amount before you even factor in my expenses and say I make too much. I just don't get it. And then there's one place I'm probably going to be stuck with. The lady wanted me to pay, it's $1,700 a month. Small house, no central air, no central heat, none of that. She wanted me to pay $1,700 July 1st, knowing I can't move until near the 1st of September. But her rationale was, that's to hold the place. Lady, this is business. You ain't got to hold it for me. I can't, and like I keep explaining to her and the realtor, I can't afford to pay 2 rents, because I'm still I have integrity where I live. I gotta pay that rent. And then you want me to pay a place that I'm not even in yet? Come on, make it make sense. Make it make sense. And like I said, it's business. If you find somebody else who can rent your home, I understand. Now, mind you, this house has been for rent forever and a day. Forever and a day. But it's just not adding up. It's not making sense to me. And I'm like, how are people supposed to live? Not everybody can get Section 8. And then the project-based vouchers, or whatever those things are called, PBV, you got to get on a waiting list. If you don't know the waiting list is over, by the time you go look at the housing authority, just to see what's out there, the list is closed. So I don't understand. I need somebody to make it make sense. I just don't get it. Landlords can go up every year if they want to. Keep going up, right? But when it comes to fixing up the property, it's like somebody gives them a pass. Oh, you don't have to do that. What do you mean? What do you mean you don't have to do that? I'm not getting it. I say it again. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I don't know. And it's just sad. And then this is why people are going to other countries. This is why people are converting school buses and getting mobile homes, and they're living, they're making homesteads, they're living on campgrounds, because really at the campground, the only thing you got to pay for, I believe, and I'm not sure, don't hold me to it, is the lot space. Just the lot space. You have to pay for that. But, they have the water hookup. And then if you have your solar panels or your Jackery, you have that stuff. You're not paying the astronomical light bill and the water bill. And I'm going to tell you, because I already said, when I moved, there's no, I'm not getting that expensive cable just to watch the same thing over and over and over. It will be streaming. Netflix, Hulu, Tubi, things like that. Right now I have an antenna, and I still can see the news and my Wheel of Fortune, stuff like that. I don't need all the movie channel. I don't need all that, because half that stuff I don't even watch. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, For me, YouTube is the new TV, because that's what I watch. I'm on YouTube, you know. And I always say, make it make sense. Make it make sense. And I just don't get it. I really don't get it. And then, you know, the landlords talk about, oh, you violate this, you violate that. Damn, well, what do y'all violate? What do y'all violate when you don't pay? I hear that so many times. Oh, my landlord said that I did this, so I have to go because they said I had people, you know, won't on a lease. Because I talk to people, because I really, really feel like running for House of Delegates, something to start, so I don't have to complain just this way, but I could be a reason and hopefully a voice for change. But yeah, people have to live with each other. People have to live with each other because people can't afford these things by themselves. And then right, it's so bad now that these landlords are making you go through like you buying a house. My best friend, you know, who's back in New York, I remember she was looking for a place. She said she had to pull stuff together as if she was getting a mortgage. She had to pull her tax returns, her pay stubs, all the stuff. I'm renting from you. Landlords, you can do whatever. There's nothing in that lease that says that there's nothing y'all can't do. You put in there, you can enter the property at will when you want. You can raise rent when you want. You can take us to court and evict when you want. But you want us to provide our life story like we're buying a mortgage, like we're getting a mortgage, and we're only renting your property. Something that you're raising the rent on, doubling the amount, so you could pay your mortgage, plus have a little bit for yourself. Because you know why? Because you know you can do it. Because you know people need somewhere to live. And not everybody wants a house. Not everybody can afford a house. And not everybody's going to qualify for a house. So you can do what you want to do. I don't get it. I don't get it. And as my favorite saying is, make it make sense. Make it make sense. It's just not making sense. I don't know. And maybe I'm not supposed to know. They don't want me to know. Okay, I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. I just, it's, and then don't let me get on NACA. I'll be right back. Don't let me get on NACA. So I'm on my way to get my nail appointment, but I had to stop and get me something to put on my stomach. And let me show you what we got. We got the Great Berry Calypso Lemonade. And we got, oh, it's nice and hot. Any New Yorkers on here, Philly, Jersey, you know, you already know. You already know. My daughter hooked me up to this store, a bacon, egg, and cheese. Have a bite? Have a bite. But let's get to driving and talking. But, so now let me get on NACA, right? Remember these 4 letters, NACA. That's what the slogan is. And NACA is supposed to help individuals, you know, who really, I guess, can't afford a traditional mortgage. And you know, there's no credit score required and all that good stuff. But you have to go through some steps. You have to take a workshop, which is 1 day. Then you pay $25 to get your NACA ID. And you gotta volunteer at an event, which is different things that you could do to volunteer. And then the main thing is, they say there's no down payment, but what they ask you to do is, because they look at your income, you know, just like a mortgage lender, income to debt ratio and how much you could afford for a mortgage. So say that when they put my everything together, my salary, my expenses, blah blah blah, they say, okay, you could pay $2,200 a month, but they'll want me to save some money, like they say shock payment, but doesn't mean you're gonna do it, because I've seen people get money back. But they might want to see you for 3 months or 6 months, save $200. But if you get the right, I should have been had something through NACA. But the guy that I had, the first guy, because he didn't understand student loans, and back then, and this was years ago, my student loans were in forbearance. He messed me up. Then the second time I did it, I want to say my counselor said I was ready. It's just I needed to, I think, save shock payment. And you know, life be lifing. If anybody know, life could be lifing. And when you say you're going to save and do something, something happens. And for whatever reason, I just didn't finish through. Well, I said I'm going to try one more again. Excuse me, you guys. So I'm going to try one more again. And, you know, I looked up the FHA loan. You know, I just looked up different things because I want to leave something for my children and my grandchildren. Because let me tell you something. If it's hard right now trying to find some place to live, and I know my best friend, she has sent me something, because I'm from near Peekskill, New York. And in Peekskill, New York, they had a 3-bedroom apartment, not a house, apartment. I forgot how many bathrooms. $5,000 a month. Now, I'm gonna tell you like this. If the government can spend $5,000 a month, because Section 8, why can't you just start building some things where the middle class can afford? Like, there gotta be a happy medium. Like, for people who they say make too much, can't you raise the limit a little bit and give everybody? Doesn't, just because it looks good on paper does not mean that it looks good in their pocketbook, and it ain't got nothing to do with money management. No, you ain't spending your money right. Or, excuse me, take a bite now. I'm gonna tell you, take a bite, take a bite, take a bite. And it has nothing to do with money management. It's called life. You don't know what. You know, you got co-pays. You end up in the hospital emergency room. You got to pay that residual. You got to have a car. Everybody doesn't have money to go buy a car right out. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have a car. You got to get back and forth. You got to get back and forth to work. I don't know. I'm just frustrated. $1,700 for what? And I'm gonna tell you where I'm staying now. I was at this first apartment for the town I moved in. My very first apartment. I was there 9 years. Do you know it took them 9 years to give me some carpet, to replace the carpet? 9 years. And every time I asked, can I get an upgrade on cabinets, this and that, she come taking pictures, make me think she's gonna do something. Months go by, I remind her. Then she gonna ask me, when are you gonna be available? I can come take pictures. I'm like, so-and-so, you did that already. Then, okay, you realize you did that already, so what's your next excuse? Well, the next excuse was, oh, I can only do one upgrade a year. You didn't do anything. My first year there, you put on my lease renewal. What can I do to make you stay? You give me a carpet clean. Okay. After that, I ain't get nothing else. 9 years later, she gets carpet. Oh, I did get a refrigerator because the refrigerator stopped working after 9 years. After that, I said, bump it. I'm moving. You get your rent on time. You get it early. Everything. So, I moved to the lofts. Not realizing, yeah, they look nice online. They don't have no windows. I have one window. Literally, one window. And that window is in the bedroom. Every other window in the living room, in the second bedroom, is skylight windows. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. So, I'm going to end my rant here. But I just want any landlord, by the sound of my voice, make it make sense. And I understand this is business and, you know, you got to make a profit. You got to pay the mortgage on the house. I understand that. Apartment complex owners who's building these income-based apartments, can you put something in there for the middle class? That even though our paycheck says middle class, even though our paycheck says $94,000, $95,000, we still have things that we got to do to sustain, and we still want to live, and you don't know what we got to do. But anyway, leave me a comment below. Give me your thoughts. Hit that like, subscribe if you so feel compelled to. Hit the notification bell because I have more videos coming out. And I promise, a lot of them's not going to be ranting, but I had to rant today because $2,700. People are paying a mortgage less than that. Make it make sense. All right, guys, I'm going to finish my sandwich, go get my mani and pedi, and just relax.